Please encourage me now. I'm shy. Abba. Or you are not happy because you are not having pomo in your menu. Don't worry, we'll give you pomo from that animal called bokolo. Or gudali. It's as thick as this. So when you pull it, it will pull you. If you are not careful, it will break your teeth. So skin quality in Gems 4, that's an exciting one also. What Bello did not tell you is that after production, there was a delivery into the market. And when it was delivered into the market, because the salt was not very popular, it stood in the market for quite a while. And when Gems 4 came in, we needed to know why. Why should the salt be sitting there in the market without being bought off by the skin collectors? Don't forget the fact that the skin collectors are at the lower part of the ladder. There are very many, perhaps closing up to 70 or 80,000 people involved in picking skins from one village to the other. The farther the village is, the more problematic it is to get to the tannery. And the reason why the skin degrades very easily. And when it degrades like that, like Bello has told you, it will lose 80% of its value. And year in, year out, many of these poor skin collectors go bankrupt. They cannot make money. You can imagine if you buy 1,000 skins and just 20 of it or 30 degrades. And the reason why they degrade is just because of improper skin preservation by using table salt. All over the place where they collect and tan skins, they use special preservation salt that is just having 3% soda ash. So we took the skin into the market and we needed to know why. And from the skin collectors themselves, they said, look, we won't buy this salt. And it was like, this salt could help you. Why are you not buying? Then we discovered that it was because of the granular particles. The granular particles were coarse, and they want something that looks like powder. And as soon as we got that right, we needed to go back to Dangote and say, look, let's sit down together and see this. Because while we were doing that, we invited them along with us to go to the field, and we both saw it, and we heard from the skin collectors, and they gave us the reason why. And we switched, and Dangote produced another better one with very fine particles. And when you put a coarse salt on the skin, it dusts off very easily. So when it dusts off, the skin will go bad maybe in 10 or 12 days. But once it is powdery, it sticks to the skin, and it prevents bacteria from penetrating into the skin and degrading the skin through putrefaction. So table salt we discover is not efficient. So then again, we discover that the salt is placed wrongly. And when you place it wrongly, it does not attract the skin collectors to know, because we're placing this salt along the line of table salt distribution, in which case it is in the commodity market. And these guys only know one market for skin, the aggregator's point. There are special skin markets all over the north where skin collectors go and sell their skin. So if you place that salt in a place where they sell their skins, they're likely to see it and buy. But if you place it outside that, they may not see it. So we needed to rework the distribution system there. And Bello did not give you the value or of the loss that is borne by the skin collectors. It's about 3 billion naira per annum, borne by the poor skin collectors, not the tanneries. They also have a minimum skin degradation when it gets to them, but major is borne by the poor skin collectors. Can we move on? What did we do? I have told you we tested that, and we got just, then we, in order to get the attention of the skin collectors, we needed to carry out demonstrations in all the skin producing states from Kebbi to Borno, all the states along that line, Zamfara, Sokoto, name them, Gombe, Bauchi. We carried that demonstration, and how is that done? We purchase a few skins, maybe 20 or 40 skins, and share them into two, and skin preservation salt is applied to a set, and table salt is applied to another set. And every week, we go back to the place to review. In the first one, you will notice is that out of the 20, maybe 3 or 4 of it will degrade with the table salt preserved skin, and for the skin preservation salt, it will retain its quality. The second week when you go there, it could go up to about half of it degraded, while skin preservation salt retains. The third week when you go, you may likely have 1 or 2 remaining from the table salt preserved skin, and for the skin preservation salt, we'll see that everything is okay. Perhaps maybe 1 sometimes, and that one we discovered that the skin collectors were trying to play tricks on us. We've seen a situation where they smuggled the bad skin into the lot and push it into the skin SPS part. And what we discover is that the following week when we get there, they cannot identify that bad skin they put within, in which case, and they will tell us, look, we're just trying to see whether it can improve it, but we cannot even see it again. So it has a way of preserving the skin and improving the quality of that skin without necessarily degrading it. So we now needed, because Dangote will not produce for one person, the skin collectors can perhaps buy one bag, 2 bags here and there. So there was a gap between the manufacturer and the market. And we needed a strong person who will uptake from Dangote and distribute. And we found in the like of Hendo Chemicals, a major distributor of ternary chemicals that could fill in that role and doing wonderful work on that line. And we work along with him to break bulk and sell to the skin collectors. Then we discover again that even as at that, there was still problem. So we needed to look at what the problem was. We discovered that except the major skin aggregators invest in distribution of this salt, it may not get to the skin collectors because the major aggregators have loyal skin suppliers that have been supplying them skins in the last 10 years. They are collectors from villages. They know where they are. So until then, we didn't know what to do with the salt, even with Hendo. Then when we discovered that, we had to attract aggregators to invest a little bit of their capital into buying salt and placing in their own market and selling to their collectors. And that worked perfectly because the salt is delivered straight to that point, reducing cost of transaction along the line, loading, offloading, and all the rest. And at the end of the day, we discovered that Zaria in Kaduna, about 95% of the skin collectors have adopted this. In Sokoto is adopted. In Kano, Kura market is adopted, and a host of further markets. The further the place of collection is to Kano, the worse the problem of the skin collectors. So now the salt is going into the villages little by little. And we believe that in a short while, it will be much more popular and it will be much more adopted by the skin collectors. So that's about the adoption. So, and again, Jameson worked with Hendo Chemicals to promote the salt on radio, on media. Every time we work together all the time, and it's working well. Can we move on? Advantages. Reduction of downgrades due to skin preservation. We've talked about that. It preserved for 21 days and table salt for 5 days. SPS preserves 50% more skins than table salt. That is, for a bag of 50 kilo SPS, you the skin collectors by themselves say that they preserve 120 skins. For table salt, they can only use it for 80 skins. So there's a lot of savings accruable from that. And that is a huge economic benefit for the skin collectors. So that means that the more skins SPS can preserve, the less for table salt. And by the arrangement with Dangote or NASCON, the price of SPS to the market is always 15% lower than table salt. And we had to talk a lot about that because iodine is more expensive than soda ash. For your table salt, they will add iodine. So remove that iodine and give us soda ash. Soda ash is cheaper. So we're able to negotiate that with Dangote, and they're following that. And again, Dangote, our NASCON, from the top level, that is from their board, they've given them a target in NASCON of what they should achieve every year in the sales of SPS, which is very good for us. So whether we're there or not, Dangote is meant to push it. They have invested in additional machine because they cannot pass SPS through the same line of table salt. Can we move? So some testimonies from a major skin aggregator, Sabio Kura in a Kura market. If you go to the motor garage in Kura, he operates there, and he's a major collector in the Zaria skin market. What did he have to say? In the last 1 year, I've not used table salt for skin preservation. Rather, it's been SPS for its obvious advantages over table salt. It is cheaper, preserves longer, and my skins look better and retain grade 1. And I use less of it for more skins, which confirms what we've been saying. These are the reasons why I promote its use to my collectors in Kano and Kaduna State. All my skin collectors are recording less losses. That is, the skin collectors are having more income now if they are recording less losses. They are making more money, and I make more from SPS distribution and skin business. That is from, then we'll play a video here of the skin value chain. This is a second-tier tannery in Kano, and this is what they have to say. We will continue to use SPS after the project ends, as we are saving considerable money by decreasing the number of skins that decay. It is hoped that other tanneries will follow suit as they see the benefit. We remain grateful to James 4 and partners for making it available. Can we play the video, please?
In Nigeria, the leather industry uses sheep and goat skins mainly. And in the international leather market, Nigerian skins are ranked to be of superior quality. Consequently, the Nigerian leather industry is second only to the crude oil industry in annual foreign exchange earnings.
Nigerian skin business preserves skins with table salt, whereas elsewhere, especially in the developed countries, they have special salts made for skins that is fortified with the right materials, that is soda ash, meant for skin preservation. So to introduce that to Nigerian skin business, preservation salt was imported from Germany and demonstrated to skin collectors. So that demonstration showed that the skin preservation salt could keep skins in good condition for as long as 3 weeks, whereas table salt only preserves skins for not longer than a week.
Wannan sabon gishiri na James ya inganta kasuwancinmu nesa ba kusa ba. Domin dalili da lokacin da ba mu amfani da shi da muke amfani da wancan, duk inda fatan mu tai sati ɗaya sati biyu kokari muke muga cewa duk inda zamu mu rabu da ita. Idan ba mu rabu da ita ba a wannan lokacin za ta iya lalacewa. ko ya zamanto in ba mu kai ta mun sayar da ita ko yaya ba, to sai dai mu zamanto mun shanya ta mun zo mun sayar da ita a wajen local tanners. To amma shi kuma wannan zai kasance zai ɗau tsawon lokaci yana rike da ita ba tare da hankalinmu ya tashi ba.
Annually, Nigeria produces about 15 billion skins. Out of this number, 10% of it becomes downgraded from grade 1 to reject because of improper preservation with table salt. That loss translates to a loss of at least 3 billion naira every year.
Worldwide, our skin is the best in terms of goats and sheep. But they call it Moroccan leather. It's actually a Nigerian leather. The major market is Italy and Spain. From the experience I have, I could remember last year there's some skins we got preserved from the skin. The way it is, it's more better. I think even the solubility of that salt is far different from this one. Also, there are some certain factors we consider, which to me, I prefer to have that salt meant for the tannery than ordinary salt, because the result is far better than what you have. Because actually the other one is not purified. Even from the skin is dirty. You find that dirtiness will reduce the quality of your skin. Like a supplier, if you go and buy this the other salt you use in your skin, there's some adulteration inside, which might not act as the normal salt, the other salt. So actually this one there's no adulteration because it's not in the market. From the scott factory to people who are using the salt. So that chain of adulteration has been cancelled. And I believe with that one is better as give more result, more yield.
We don't expect to keep importing salt from Germany. We need to have local capacity for the manufacture of the salt. So after the demonstration with the German salt, the Nigerian salt manufacturers were encouraged to produce local versions of the salt.
So using the M4P approach, James 4 is working in partnership with the National Association of Hides and Skin Dealers, which is the association of all the people who gather the skin and sell them to the tanneries. The National Salt Company of Nigeria, who produce both table salt, and now we're facilitating them and building their capacity to manufacture SPS, that's the skin preservation salt. So far, 2 James 4 partners have produced samples of their own versions of the SPS, which were tested and found to be just as efficient as the SPS James 4 brought in from Germany.
The salt meant for skins is actually meant for skin. So the quality cannot compare with ordinary salts because it has been gone through lab tests, through experimentation, and we use the salt. But that salt meant for skin is far better than the common salt we are using.
Wannan ba karamin kokari James 4 ta yi ba ta shiga lungu da sako tana wayar da kan mutane akan wannan gishiri. Wannan James 4 ta yi mutukar kokari ba abin da zamu ce da ita sai dai mu ce mata mun gode, Allah saka mata da alheri.